Hello guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to Cheer Up the Podcast UK episode 1.
111.
We're number ones. Yes, we are number ones. We're super excited to be talking this season about crazy things in the cheer season, but also informing you guys at home and just giving some knowledge on what cheerleading is. And dance, don't forget, dancers, we're not going to keep you out of the picture because it's one big family. And on episode 1 today, we're going to be talking about tryouts, just like us too. We're trying out a new thing, and then we're going to be obviously going into our small talks, big impacts. Couldn't get my words out there, went blank. And then also controversial con as well, where we're going to talk about.
We're going to keep the theme going, aren't we? So every week, and we've got some amazing special guests over the coming weeks who are going to be joining us on Small Talk and Big Impact. And every week we're going to have a controversial corner, which are topics that we've sort of like discussed with other people. We've done research behind this. So that's what we've got our controversial corner first topics to talk about. And we're hoping that the podcast is going to be educational as well as fun.
For coaches, athletes, parents, you name it, we want to make sure it's educational and you're learning something, because every day, folks, is a learning day. It's a learning day.
Absolutely, it really is a learning day. Every day is a learning day when you're with this guy.
Let's get into it then.
Yeah,
Episode
let's go.
1, tryouts. It's tryout season.
Right, so let's talk tryouts.
Yeah.
So, as a gym owner, I think some gyms charge, some gyms don't charge for tryouts, and I know that some people give like invitations out, you know, so if you're already a member of that gym, then you might get a letter to say you've made a team. But then when it comes to international teams, for instance, like the under 18s and the under 16s and the under 11s now, isn't it?
Under everything now.
So on the international teams, I think this is where like tryouts
is a big
and
thing,
the world's team, it's a big thing. And we are there to sort of to give you 5 tips of advice, really, aren't we? So, like the first one being about like your expectations of trying out for a team and not being disappointed, because the cheer industry has gone wild. I mean, we compare it like the ICC events and Battle of the Champions, the under 16s level 2. It was insane.
It's a wild division now. It's an absolute wild division.
I mean, it was like edge of your seat. If you love cheerleading, let me tell you, that was like edge of your seat.
But even the dance as well. The dance, the youth dance, junior dance, they're all absolutely solid.
And it just seems to be every season you think, wow, it's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And they looked incredible. So I think the realistic point of view from gym owners, if you're going to be going in for international teams, like all teams had the skills that was needed. Yeah. Every flyer had the stretch, you know, like some of the scales, and they were insane. Like, and the TikToks, it was like got high to low, wasn't it? Quarter twist. It was insane. So I think if you're going to be trying out and you're a flyer, and let's be real here, if your heel stretch is not going up above your hip, guys, then I'm not saying there's not a team for you, but maybe the international team is not going to be
for you.
It's not
at that time.
For you.
Practice makes perfect.
And if, as gym owners, if we had a pound for every time maybe a parent came in and said, yeah, but she's really upset because she wants to be a flyer,
you're gonna have to choose your best out, especially if it's. I'm not in that division. We welcome in my gym. We welcome everybody. Everybody makes a team. Because we don't have that pressure of the international division, which my senior 2 are actually getting to that point now where they're turning into that elite team. They're hungry to go international, so the routine's a lot harder, and they're actually stepping up because it's kind of like they've proved to me, no, they want this now. Let's give them the skills that they need to be required, because the international level is a whole different ball game.
It really is, and I think that's sort of like where we want to come in with the educational side of things, because a lot of people like come into the industry just, you know, they're a cheerleader, and we're the same. Every child makes a team, and you know, it's really important to remember that like we're building self-confidence, self-esteem, and the ethos with which we share very similar with our gyms is generally about that. But when you start getting into the higher level and the elitism, then we need to be like realistic and create a realistic expectation, and also like not to be disappointed, because if it's not this season, it could well be next season. And if your gym is supportive, or you want to work on them stretches as a flyer or work on that tumbles, because if you've got 30 kids that have tried out for a level 2 team and you're looking for a team of 16 or maybe 20, and out of 30 like 20 have got back handsprings, got all the tumbles, got the stretches, and then you've got 10 who are not quite there, then as a coach, you're gonna go with we have to make these really harsh decisions now, because we are measured on our success.
Which is that. This is why we're going to get into Short Talks Big Impact, because we're going to give you some really good advice on what to take to try out. So you kind of covered that one there. So we've got 5 little what's the word I'm looking for?
Tips. Golden nuggets.
Golden nuggets for you. A golden
nugget of information.
I couldn't get the words out. We've got 5 of something for you. We don't know what it is. So 5 would be definitely the attitude towards. So starting with 5, attitude towards your tryouts. You're going in with a positive motivational attitude, knowing that you have to be willing to listen to that coach at that tryout. Make sure you're trying your hardest. Make sure you're being a positive being, supporting your other teammates, or you might see somebody new at your tryouts, support them as well. Just have that nice attitude about your tryouts, and when you go in, if it's the same team or a different team, just go in there with a positive attitude and just keep striving. So that's part 5 really. 4, we've talked about, obviously this is another one, being kind of understanding the motivation of where you want to go in your tryout process. So you've got to be realistic with yourself. So that's kind of our part 4, which we're going to talk about now, is if you are a level 2 athlete and you want to be on a level 5 team, have you got the skills to be able to cross into that threshold? Because the way that level 5, 6 and 7 is going these days, it's very much you need the skills to get on that team, because
100%.
It's a massive industry, especially if you've got teams in the UK now globing at Worlds. They're going to need the best of athletes, because they're going to be moving up them. So it's also being about realistic with yourself at 100%, tryouts.
And I think a lot of people think, like on the other point, so we're coming up to, is it point 3 now? Is the mindset of the athlete. And not just the mindset, but are you coachable? Are you coachable as an athlete, and can you take constructive criticism? And can you sort of work under the pressure, which you have to, because it is high pressure when it's international teams. It does become a lot more high pressure. I'm not saying that the lower teams aren't under pressure, because it might be somebody's first time they've ever actually gone out and competed, and it's daunting. You're going out in the big arenas now. They're not like they used to be, are they, when there was like tiny arenas? There's some big arenas now because the sport's growing. But I do think it's really important to take on board athletes that you've got that mindset, but also not the mindset of the athlete, but the mindset of the parents really matter. Because when you're coming home from competition, and as fierce as the comps are now, you could be, the difference between first and third is like a 0.1, a 0.2. So what is that car journey like on the way home? Like, is it like, oh, well, I thought you should have won, you was better, and this. The judges are doing a job, they're doing the score sheets. If it's unfortunate, you might have had a bobble, or you've had a fall, or you've had a legality, let's say, for instance. And that's the difference. The coach and those athletes have worked so hard in the gym. The positivity of a parent's journey home is
an impact on them.
Crucial. It's crucial. So it's you need to be working together as a team. The club owner, the gym, the coach, the athlete, the parent. It's a collective, because if you've got like that little sparkle of X factor of everything that's just going right, don't you? When you've just got that team with your parents coming and there's just something, they want it, but they're also understanding as well that like what pressure it is. Then I think that's That's an absolute, like, it's so crucial.
And that leads perfectly on to point 2, which is being prepared for whatever team you're trying out for. What's their requirements? Are you educated on what they expect from you? What are their ethos is? I think having that mindset and understanding and preparing for tryouts, it's not just a matter of just turning up, hi, my name's Theo, I'm here to try out. What's going to separate you from them other athletes that they already have? That they might, well, we know how Julie works because she's been with her for the last 5 seasons, but we've got Theo who is brand new. You want to make sure that you're standing out, you're the same kind of level as Julie or whoever, and you have educated yourself on that club and you know what they stand for. That's going to obviously put you in that kind of, we want to take them on.
The understanding as well, when we talked about understanding, I think what's really crucial as well is when you're going for bids, you're going as a club for that bid. So let's say you're in a youth level 1, and you are 11, and the year after you are going to age out. So you're going to age out because you're going to go into a junior team. That bid was won for youth. So that bid cannot transfer over then to a junior team. So basically, the child who would have won that bid and they'd be like, yeah, we're going to America. If you haven't got that junior bid, you might not be going to America. But what you've done is you've played a really crucial part
into the process.
An integral part into getting that bid for the club, for that actual division. And I think we need to be like, it's really difficult to get that message across because, you know, parents sometimes have a massive confusion, and it's a confusion for us as coaches. Like the age grid changes.
Honestly, I can't keep up. It changes more than I change my t-shirts. Let me tell you, I never know what's going on. I'm like, well, I've got this team this season, and then one of my coaches will go, no, you can't do that team because Fanny Tut over there is the wrong age. I'm like, God and Bennett, what am I going to do? But I think, it's the industry's forever changing. But leading on to the final point, I think go for it. That's a word. Absolutely go for it. That's our top tip on our 5 kind of tips to tryouts. Go in there confident, go in there ready for it, and go in there like you want to be on that team. Show performance
is everything. Like, and it links into the attitude because you know, we're cheerleaders. Things can happen. We could do a back touchdown. You know, it's how you get back up. It's, you know, it's your resilience on that mat. And if you're proving in tryouts, if something went wrong, but you was like sassy,
your fretty went wrong, but you've got your face like a goddess, and you've just kept it.
Exactly,
it's all about that.
I mean, let's talk about some cheer teams here that you know that they've come out and they're just like, they're having the best time. And they're clean, they're sharp, they're giving everything, even like down to that dance section.
Like me on Genesis back at dance, but dance were popping off at the front. I always wanted to be at the front, but they tell me that I'm not quite the best cheer dancer, but you know what? It was always popping off.
I remember watching Genesis in their dance section at ICC Southern Jam, and there was a section, I'll never forget it, where Stefan came through the middle, and he was like... And that, I mean, that shows you what a performance can do, because that is imprinted in my brain like forever, because I remember thinking that dance section,
Stefan was always a phenomenal dancer,
and he's just like, there was just something extra. But when you're watching dance sections, and it's
showmanship, isn't it?
And it could well be that like the pyramid's just completely gone, but
car crash.
But you get back up, don't you?
You try to get back up, depending what way, depends where it's gone.
I remember one of my athletes once, she came out of a prep. No, it was a gut, and she went on her face, like, and she got up, but she must have hurt herself, and she was doing her best because we've trained, you know, we trained to like perform, and she was like, she was literally crying, but doing all emotions, smiling at the same time.
Good on you.
Great video. I'll have to. We'll upload it after.
She'll absolutely hate you. Don't do that. Child safeguarding there.
Oh my god! But you know what? It just goes to show though, this sport is amazing for resilience.
It is,
because and so tryouts is from an athlete, from a coach's perspective. Make sure like everything is in your pack. Making sure that like it's set out in stone. You know, this is the competition that we're doing. These are the competitions for the season that we're doing. everything's as clear as day as to where you're going, because the financial impact
it has on people, which is a talk for a different episode, but
Yeah.
we will get into stuff like that. But I think just know from all points of the triangle, cheerleader to parent to coach / gym, everybody just needs to be on the same page.
Absolutely,
For sure.
100%. Like knowing, because when you're planning for your tryouts, you're planning your tryouts back in April,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Pretty much,
You're
yeah.
planning tryouts in April. You're looking at what competitions that you're going to be doing
Yeah.
for the following season. So it's like getting your packs ready for, to go out. And do you feel as though these are going out like earlier and earlier every year?
Like I might packs out at Christmas though, this rate. I think we just send all an information pack. They come to tryouts. They have 48 hours to confirm or deny the place, and we send them a welcome pack, which is exactly the same. And then from there, welcome to the team. We have them on, and then that's it really for us. But we every year, I'm like, we're gonna have to have it out earlier. But this is the latest I've done it. I'm like,
know.
Get it out now. But
And then all the other gyms are like, oh, where they going?
yeah, and every other gym will read. Oh well, he's got his pack out. Let's read it. Are we
Yeah.
cheaper? Are we not? Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
But
what
there's
it
room
is.
for everyone, isn't
Yeah,
there? I
there's
think
room
there's
for
enough
everybody.
people to go around wherever you are. There's enough gyms to go
Yeah.
around now. There's so many gyms
It
now.
is what it is.
And I think it's really important that, like say, your prices are clear. You're picking the teams that you want.
Yeah.
You can pick your teams onto your budget. If you're going to be international, know that there's coming with a financial impact on that
Yeah.
as well, on your tryouts. But yeah, I think, like I said, go for it. Have a great season. We're
Smash it,
excited
yeah.
to see what's going to come this
Yeah.
season. We're excited to sort of like get the team reveals, like
Yeah.
watch on the socials. And if you are a club owner or anybody and you've got a golden nugget of information, like
Share it.
share it with us. Like
Yeah.
share it with us at the bottom of the comments, and then we'll share
Yeah.
it again, can't we?
We can always help
'cause,
people. We've all got
yeah,
the same goal at the end of the day, and
We
that's the
have.
athletes. That's them to go for gold. And that kind of sums up our top 5 in Small Talks Big Impact. And we're now going to move on to
bum bum bum.
controversial corner. Honestly, I've practiced that word in the mirror for the last 14 days. Controversial corner. Do you want to start this one off? I don't mind starting this one off.
You got, let's. It's episode 1. You start this one.
To the Wolves.
Do this.
So, with it being tryouts, the controversial corner we're going to talk about today is gym hopping. There's no commitment to teams because of bids and stuff like that, and there might be higher level. I'm going to actually... One guy that I might call Matthew, he is American, he owns teams in America. He's got like 5 locations, loads of kids, and he always said, when we can't provide for that athlete no longer and they move on to a bigger or better team that maybe down the road, he always says to them, just when people ask you where you've come from or where you've learnt your skills in your first kind of years of cheerleading,
Yeah.
just say where you've come from, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask from you, and good luck with your journey. And that resonated with me massively. I thought
Yeah.
that's so sweet. Just remember where you've come from.
That is really, really nice.
If they built you
Yeah.
from grassroots and from the ground up, that gym, that owner, he's built you to what you are
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
For you to be able to go onto that big international team or
Yeah.
to go abroad or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They've taught you your basics, so just remember where you've come from. So for me,
That's a really nice piece of
Yeah.
information.
yeah, Pride Cheerleading. His name's Matthew.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matthew. He's a really lovely guy. But yeah, I think there's no loyalty these days. I mean, I'm a small team. I've lost a couple of athletes to teams in other teams in my region just because I can't. They want the amazing tumblers or
Yeah.
they want a higher level, and I can't provide that.
Yeah.
But on the same kind of flip side of that, I think, but we're growing to that. So you can be part of the backbone
Yeah.
and come to that growth.
Yeah.
Or you can jump ship and go somewhere
Yeah.
and do that. And a lot of my kids obviously have been that backbone of the stick. And it's
Yeah.
working because my level 2 team, they're getting better and better.
They
and better,
are.
where we're beating teams in the region.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm just like, there
Yeah.
you go.
We was the same, like going back like many moons ago, we never really struggled with
Yeah.
gym hoppers, as we call them now,
Yeah.
because you was united as a team. You know, we started off with this youth group and we went through youth into juniors, into seniors.
Through the levels.
We went through the levels, and, you know, we've come 6. We've come, you know, and we worked through it till eventually we were grand champions. We won at internationals. We won at Bournemouth. We got bids to the summit. you know, we went on that journey and we went on that journey together. Obviously people come and go naturally, but it was a journey. The core was still there. But what I think we're finding now is with the bids, that's becoming a real challenge, because the industry is evolving and changing so drastically with bids. The kids who want a bid
will go find the bid.
Go and find the bid. And that is the challenge, I think, for a lot. Like, we spoke to a lot of gym owners.
Smaller gym owners.
And a lot of gym owners were saying that this was like something to bring up in Controversial Corner, because a lot of gyms were finding the same problem of trying to keep hold of the athletes. Like you said, when you've worked with them for so long and you've got to a certain level, if you can't provide that level, wish them well and go, look, we're not doing that, but if you're going off somewhere else, that's fabulous. But make sure it's friendly, so that next time we see you at competition,
you're happy.
It's great, and we'll come and support you. You can come and support us.
Don't go to another team and put you as a front spots. I absolutely, honestly, I despise. Front spots are brilliant. I honestly, teams like to have front spots, but it's not an ethos in my gym. I like you not having front spots. I'm an old fashioned coach. Like free bases, and a flyer, or if I've got boys, it's dual base and a flyer. I'm just like, you're not having a front spot. You're not having it.
See, we're talking old language there.
You're not having a front spot. But I think, there's no loyalty anymore. When I was on my team, Genesis, which unfortunately folded, I had the best time of my life, but I stuck with them because that was how I got into cheer. Was a girl I used to work with was like, oh, you should do cheerleading, and it was Genesis at the time. Went through that process. Unfortunately, it folded, but I stayed with them because they taught me everything I knew.
But how could you not want to stay with Genesis
as
a team anyway?
It was a laugh.
I mean, like I say, first time I met you guys was in America.
We had a hoot, but made me the person who I was today. But that's Controversial Corner, short and sweet. Words of wisdom to leave our lovely viewers with. What would you say?
I would say, if you're going for tryouts and you don't get what you've gone out for, remember, as one door closes, another door opens, and you don't know what opportunities are there for you. Behind the next door.
I could put you on a podium. Motivational speaker Jane Valentine.
I'm a wise old girl. I'm a wise old owl.
My words of wisdom will be: stay committed to your team. Stay committed to your team. If you don't like it, bring it up to the coach. Say, I'm not happy. I'm looking at going elsewhere. Maybe they can correct it and not stop you, but a coach will always have your best interest at heart.
Always.
So just have that respect for the coach and have that conversation with them and stay committed. If not, I'm sure most coaches, I will myself, will hold my hand up and be like, if you want to go do that team, you go do that team. We support you. So that's kind of everything today. Our first episode done.
How exciting is it? We've had it planned for so long, but it's been amazing.
But thank you so much for watching here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here and watching.
Actually with us. If you're watching on YouTube, you're with us.
Yeah, you're with us.
In spirit here. And if you're listening in on the
in
audio,
your car on the way to Bournemouth or wherever you're on the way to.
Because Bournemouth's coming up.
Yeah. But thank you so much. You can follow us on social media, Cheer Up the Podcast on all platforms, and also listen to us on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts as well. Make sure you're interacting with us. If you want something in Controversial Corner or Short Talks Big Impact, drop us a DM. Our email's on the social platform as well. And that's us.
So let's cheer up with Cheer Up.
Bye.
Bye.